Hi, this is Jeff French, Texas Knights editor for the Texas Chess Association. And I thought I'd take the latest issues article that I wrote and actually make a video of it just to help you to, understand it a little bit better. If a picture is worth 1,000 words, what's a video worth? Probably maybe a couple more than 1,000 words. So what we're going to talk about is the article I wrote, again, in Texas Knights in the May-June issue, and it was called Fritz 16 Customization. And it's really about a feature called Resolve Scoresheet Problem. And I'm going to talk specifically about accessing that feature from the classic menu, which you can't do by default. So, and I'll explain all that to you. So let's take just a real quick look at Fritz and the Resolve Scoresheet Problem so we all know what we're talking about. And if you go into Fritz 16, you launched it, you go into the Enter and Analyze option. There's a Resolve Scoresheet Problem icon, button, whatever you want to call it, up on the ribbon. And you can click on that, and it brings up a dialog that allows you to make modifications to your current game. And this is what I'm talking about. And the problem is, and I'm going to close this down here, the problem is if I go into the classic menu, that option isn't available anywhere. I can look at every single menu, ribbon, whatever you want to call it, in Fritz 16, and it doesn't exist if I select the classic option menu. Classic menu option. So the problem with that is when I go back and forth between Fritz and ChessBase, by using the file go to Fritz option from ChessBase, it actually launches in the classic menu. And well, if I can't get to the Resolve Scoresheet problem in the classic menu, well, that makes it difficult to actually do anything. So why would I want to do that? So I'm sitting here entering a game into ChessBase that I'm eventually going to use in Texas Knights, or I'm going to study it myself, or I have a reason for entering it from a score sheet. And I get to a position like this, and I'm sitting on move 8. White just moved from, G2 to G4. Move the pawn. And the next black move on the score sheet is knight to C6. So as you can see right here, there isn't a knight that can legally move to C6. So while I was entering the other moves of the score sheet earlier, I probably made a mistake, or I misread it, or whatever the case may be. In this particular score sheet, and a lot of people do this, they didn't specify which knight was supposed to move at that particular point. So I moved the knight on B to D7 because it kind of made more sense to me than moving the knight on F, or I just missed it, or whatever the case may be. I moved the wrong knight. Okay, so if I go back to the previous move, I can see that both knights can actually, move to D7. Doesn't matter whether it's B8 or F6. They can both move to D7. So ultimately, I picked the wrong one. Okay, so now I got to fix that. And I'm sitting on a score sheet. And I may not be on move number 4. I may be on move number 30, or there might not only be 8 moves so far that I've entered. There may be 20 or 30 or 50, and it just becomes a real hassle because I need to make this move change in the middle of the game, and there's no real easy way to do that. Sure, I can, right-click on this move before the bad knight move. I can say delete, and I can say delete remaining moves, and then I get to enter all the other moves. And in this case, it's not a big deal. There's only a couple moves. But what if I had 20 or 30 or 50 or 100 more moves here? That becomes a real problem. It takes up time, and it's a hassle. And heck, I don't want to change all those moves. So, or re-enter all those moves, I guess. So I also, of course, have the option of saving the game if I wanted to as a text file. And I can select a PGN as the text file. I click OK, and then I can save it. Doesn't really matter what the name is, but let's just call it fix this or whatever. It doesn't really matter. Okay, so I got my fix this, and I can go into my files explorer, and I can go down to my downloads is where I put it. There's my fix this, and I can go in into a text editor, and I can go in and actually change that B to an F and save it, then load it back into ChessBase and start modifying that game instead of the one I'm currently doing. So I can do that. I don't want to do that at this point. That's not the goal of this video. So, but there are a couple other options I do have, and who knows? Maybe sometime it'll be easier to do it that way, but I kind of doubt it. I have Fritz. I have Fritz 16. I have this resolve score sheet problem option in the new Fritz 16. Why can't I take advantage of it? So, if I go from file, go to Fritz. It asks me if I want to save, and I will mention here, it doesn't matter whether you save or not. The key is you want to close ChessBase, because if you come back from Fritz to a ChessBase that's already open, and you don't say open a new version of ChessBase, which you will be asked from Fritz, you have a potential of making ChessBase, the current one that's open, crash. And let me put it to you this way. Close down ChessBase. I don't care if you save the game or not. I'm not going to, because I'm not finished entering the moves. They've been transferred over to Fritz. They're sitting right here. I don't need to save the game. I haven't lost anything. So I said no. So now I want to actually use that resolve score sheet problem option in Fritz. I'm sitting in Fritz, but I'm also sitting on the classic menu. And again, I told you, classic menu doesn't give me that option. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to customize Fritz just a little bit so I can get to that option. So I'm going to go to the File menu. I'm going to say Customize. It's right above Options. Click Customize. And it brings up a dialog that's called Customize. And what it does is it allows me to modify shortcut keys using the keyboard shortcuts to specify a shortcut for a command in Fritz. Now, it's not just the resolve score sheet problem that I can customize. In this case, I just want to customize that one option. And a command is nothing more than anything I can pretty much click on with the mouse that makes it do something. Doesn't matter whether it's on the ribbon or on the menu or whatever the case may be. So these are in alphabetical order. I want to go down to the R's, which is where the resolve score sheet problem would be. I click on it. And as you can see, there's no key associated. There's no shortcut key currently associated with the resolve score sheet problem option. And I can add one just by simply clicking in this little text box here underneath the input new shortcut. And I can type. I can type pretty much anything I want to. But again, it's a combination of a single key or just a single key. I decided Alt-R would work for me. I could just as easily use something like Control-R. Or if I wanted to use S instead of R, like, shortcut for my little memory reminder saying I'm using shortcut as my shortcut key, and I'll remember that better than I would in R for resolve, I can certainly do that. I could do Control S, but if you look at Control S, and I wanted to give you one of these examples, and Control S is as good as any, that shortcut is already assigned in Fritz to save, or replace the game in a database with the version that is currently shown. So if I hit Control S right now without making any modifications to the shortcuts, it's going to save whatever the game is to the database, basically replacing the one that was already there. So I don't want to do that. I don't want to make that modification. I want to use Control S possibly in Fritz to save games. I don't want to replace Control S. So again, Control R works okay. You can do a 3-key combination like Alt Control, Alt Shift R. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if I can do a 4-key combination. Doesn't really matter. The key is just make it as easy for you as it's possible. Make it something that you can remember, so you don't have to go back into the customized dialog every time you want to use it. So you can remind yourself, just kind of remember. So I'm using Alt R. So now all I have to do is hit the assign button. I click it, and it now says currently assigned. The current key is Alt plus R, and it's currently assigned to the resolve score sheet problem option. I'm going to click apply. I don't really know if I have to click apply, but it's here. It's, highlighted, so I can click it, or enabled so I can click it. Why won't I? And then I click OK to basically close the dialog box. It may very well be that clicking OK will automatically apply it. I don't know. Click apply. It won't hurt. So now I'm sitting in this game that I want to change, and I want to change that knight on, from knight on B to D7 move. And it doesn't really matter where I'm sitting in this game. Okay, I can be sitting literally any place, and I can hit Alt R because that's my shortcut key to get to the resolve score sheet problem dialog. And again, it will, start at the very first move of the game, regardless of where I'm sitting, in the game when I clicked it, when I, brought up the dialog. And then I just basically simply click in that area, and I can use this drop down that shows every available legal move for any piece at that particular point in time in the game. But I want to change it to, knight FD7, because right now knight BD7 is wrong. So I click on that, or I could have just, let's go back to knight on B to D7. And I could just, edit it with a keyboard. I can click in it, just as if I'm sitting in a text editor or I'm writing an email or whatever. It's just a text box. And I can save it that way. So now, if I click someplace below that move, doesn't matter, any place below that move, I can actually see that the knight on B8 is still there, but the knight on F6 has been moved to D7. Either one, again, could have moved. But now, on my score sheet, the move that I needed to move knight to C6, I can. No problem. So I click OK. And I could have actually made the knight C6 move in the resolve score sheet problem. I could have literally, clicked here and then made a move, knight F6, and it would have put it there. I clicked OK, and it would have been done. I don't know that I wanted to do that. And I really don't know that I want to do it inside of Fritz either, because I was, entering my game in ChessBase. I kind of like ChessBase for making moves because it doesn't get in the way. There's no engine that's going to mess with me and start playing the game or anything like that. So I basically do my moves in ChessBase. So I'm going to go back to ChessBase. Using the file, go to ChessBase from the Fritz menu. And it closes Fritz, and it brings up ChessBase. And now I'm sitting here in ChessBase, just like I was before. After a couple clicks, and again, I basically just went File, go to Fritz, said no. But, last time that said 9FD7. I did an Alt R because it's set up now. Regardless, it will always be set up until I either change it, delete it, or, modify it. I made the change from B to D7. I clicked OK. And then I basically simply went back to ChessBase. Couple, clicks, move back and forth, and I'm back to where I was. And now I can make my next move, knight to C6 legally, where I couldn't before, because now the F knight is sitting on D7, not the B knight. That's basically it. That's the video I wanted to show you. It's a nice feature to have to resolve score sheet problems in Fritz 16. It's new. It wasn't in 15. It wasn't in 14. It's brand new with 16. So it's something new you can look forward to. Thanks a lot. Bye.